All right, kids, class is in session. In fact, what I want to do today, guys, I actually want to do something different. I was actually literally just 5 minutes ago teaching my oldest son about investing into the stock market. He's 14 years of age, and I was just teaching him some stuff with actually looking at the markets. And I actually want to teach you some stuff that I was teaching him that I think can be fundamental basics of if you're struggling with trading, maybe you're not applying to the universal laws of how the markets work and the stuff that I was actually teaching my kids. And so I want to help you out. So let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty, traders, make sure you grab that free trading course link in the description. I've actually just added a brand new training to that as well too. It goes for an hour and a half long. That's added. It goes an hour and a half long, walking through really powerful chart reading and trading techniques. So make sure you go check that out. So I want to get on to what I was just teaching about my son just recently. Okay, so firstly, if you guys do have kids, then your kids may want to look at what I'm about to teach them here. Okay, and even if you're just brand new to the markets, here's some things about universal laws of how the markets work and how you can start to just stack the odds on your side of doing much better in the markets. Okay, and a big mistake that a lot of people make. So my son, he said to me, "Dad, I was watching one of your YouTube videos, and you said in the video, don't buy when it's already gone up. Buy when it's gone down." Now, obviously, that's like a level basis of analysis, right? And so, like, I was teaching him here, and I was like, "That's right, son." And so I started showing him all the different charts here, right? So we've got Apple and Tesla and Netflix, and I'm starting to teach him, you know, what the share market and the stock market is all about. Make sense? And so I was teaching him about that sort of stuff, and I was teaching him like the level 1 basis of analysis, but can be so important to you. See, what we know about markets is markets moves in waves, right? They move in waves. And so if for example, if you look at the Dow Jones right now, a lot of people are still stuck in the Dow Jones. When we're looking at the Dow Jones right now, we can actually see that the market has actually been going up for a long time, right? It's been going up for a long time. And how fundamentally of how the markets work and what a lot of people do wrong. And I did this when I started as well too, right? This is my last 18 years. I've made a lot of mistakes. And this is one of the mistakes that I made for so many years. I didn't understand how the markets actually work. And so then I could start to apply some analysis and my trading approach to having the best chance of actually doing well. Makes sense? And again, in that free trading course, guys, I give you my trading system anyway. So, but we know, how does the market actually work? And I want you to think about this, right? It goes up and it goes down a little bit, right? It goes up and we might have a big pullback, right? And then we go up again and we have a pullback, we go up again, we have a pullback, right? It just works, simple analysis like that. Makes sense? And so one of the biggest mistakes, and I was actually just teaching my son, was that the big mistake that people do when they're actually investing into the share market, again, like, he's 14 years of age. He doesn't even know what a stock is, right? I was breaking it down on a simple basis to teaching him. And I was showing him the charts like this here, right? And even like things like Apple and Tesla and Netflix, you know, and even looking at Apple and so on and so forth. And so I was showing him this chart, right? As I go, I'll just use Apple as an example. And I said to him that, as you can see, when are the better times to buy Apple? Right? Is it better the time when it's already gone up a lot, or is it a better time to wait for a drop first and then try to buy Apple? And he's like, wait for a drop first. I'm like, okay, cool. So I was teaching him that. I'm like, so I said, look here, as we got a pullback, that was a good time to buy. 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 It's as these markets are pulling back, this is the good time to buy, and so on and so forth. And so I was teaching him that, and that the fundamental basis of what human psychology is all about, and one of the reasons why trading is so hard for the individual, because if they don't understand that fundamental basis of how the markets work and why most people really don't do well at trading, is they will wait for this move here, right? They'll wait for the move up. And they'll wait for the move up, and they're still not sure, and they're like, and then everyone's talking about it, everyone's making millions. Oh my goodness, and FOMO kicks in, and then guess what? It's up here around the 20% that people start to buy. But inevitably, what's going to happen to the markets, right? And this is where, like, if you've been watching my market updates for the last week, I've been saying, guys, even though the Dow Jones is still slowly creeping up, get ready for it because we are going to go through a drop. It's inevitable. That's what the market does. It goes up, and then it drops, and it goes up, and it drops. But with those ups and drops and ups and drops and down and ups and down and ups, guess what? Then we start to see trend analysis and so on and so forth, right? We start to see if there's a trend in place, who's in control, if no one's in control. But even when there's no one in control, guess what? We all do this, right? It goes up. If there's a trend in place, it does this. If there's a trend in place, it does this. If there's no one in, if it just does this, right? So what inevitably happens? We get the what? We get the drops. We get the drops. We get the drops. And what I didn't know for a long time is I'd start to buy Apple up here, and then the market would drop against me. Oh, the market's rigged. The market's against me. So what I was teaching my son was, I said, okay, son, so for the first thing I'm doing, what I'm looking for, which I actually am, right? I'm actually looking to wait to see some sort of a pullback first. I'm waiting for a market to actually have a pullback drop through here, right? And I said, then what I'm trying to do, I said, that's the first thing to do. Never buy it when it's already been going up a lot. And I said, because if we do that, guess what's like, if you start to buy Apple here and here, I said, what's going to come soon? He said, it's going to go down. It's like, yeah. So we'll probably start to buy here. I said, so we never know when the bottom is going to be, but we can start to get a good bit more of a probability of helping us by one, understanding that the foundations of how the markets work. That's why a lot of traders don't do well, because they wait for the market to go up a lot. I said to my son, the best way to think about this is wait for the market to drop. But then secondly, as it starts to kick up, right? So we get the drop, and then as we start to kick up here, this is where you want to start to buy, right? And then it may go down through here, sideways. Look, see it's starting to go up? That's where you want to buy, right? Think up, pull back. Look, see, pull back. Then it starts to go up. Now, guess what? Now you want to get that. Make sense? So there's a few things, and again, I break this down, and this is why trading is very, very, very simple. And one of the things that we do is we think trading is really complicated and really, really, really difficult. Because what I just gave you there is literally 80 to 90% of your success. Then we can start to really overlay some really good things like understanding trend analysis, applying some simple moving averages to see if there's any good momentum behind that move. Stuff like that can really supercharge our results, right? But unfortunately, when I was trading myself, I always believed that I needed to have all these indicators on my charts. I needed to have the stochastics, the RSI, the Bollinger Bands, and all these different things to make a good decision in the market, which at the end of the day, that's totally ludicrous, right? It's just going to create confusion. And it was actually the very thing that caused me. Now, I'm not going to bag people out on YouTube that promote this sort of stuff, but there are channels out there that say, oh, well, what about the 250-day weekly moving average? Or the 250 weekly, or what about the 300 weekly moving average? Or what about the 100 moving average? Or what about the 50 moving average? Or what about the Kelter channels? Or what about the Bollinger Bands? Or look at the MACDs. I'm like, oh my goodness. No, enough is enough, guys. Stop complicating it. It doesn't need to be that difficult. Start to understand what I've just said there by simple analysis, right? Markets go up, markets go down. Cool. The best time to buy is when it's been going down for a bit of time. That's level 1 analysis. Then level 2 analysis is wait for it to start to go down and then wait for it to start to pick back up again, right? And it may be a big move, go down. Wait for it to start to pick back up again. Up, down. Wait for it to start to pick back up again. Sideways. Wait, do you see what I'm saying there? Like, it doesn't have to be that difficult. So level 1 is understanding the foundations of what markets do, and all markets. Oh, I'm a crypto trader. Who gives a shit? They all operate. All markets are operated by the same machines, the same humans, the same people. It's all the same. They all do the same thing, right? Up and down, up and down, up and down. That's why when you're investing in something, don't wait for it to go up a lot, right? No, you don't say, oh, when gold gets to 3,000, then I'll start to invest in it. Like, no, what are you doing? Like, then that's where, like, right now, guys, that's why the mining sector to me is an absolute bargain and still, right? If I bring up this up here, GDX, like for the GDXJ, if I look at this from an investing purposes for myself, where I'm buying, holding for quite some time, look where we are. We're at ultra low levels, right? So to me, and this is where I'm a very big investor in the GDXJ, even if we do have another big move to the downside, we're probably not going to, there's probably not much movement to the downside here, right? That's where good support is, right about there. So this is where I'm investing in, but then suddenly guess what? Guess what's probably going to come soon over the next few years? This here, right? Because we had the big dump, we've had nothing going on. Now we actually have a big up move, right? And even for these swings here, right? When is the best time to be when is the best time to be getting into something? When it moves, when it goes up and down, right? So look at this here. So we can see this thing through here, right? So we have a move down, a move up, a move down, a move up, a move down, a move up, a move down. Like see what I'm saying there, guys? Like it isn't that complicated. I think a lot of times because we have money on the line, we really complicate it a lot. And so we can start to apply some simple analysis from there. Now, obviously, guys, we can really take it a step forward, but here's what I do say, that if you're using a lot of indicators on the charts, right, all the things that I talked about in this video, you're making life much harder, much difficult for yourself. Just by default, you have 50-50 chance of doing really well, right? Then we can start to apply some simple analysis like I just talked about today for wait for a pullback and then wait for it to start to kick back up again and then start to invest there. Make sense? And then when it does, you're probably going to have a nice move up. And if it doesn't, guess what? You have a small profit and then you move on to the next trade. That's what trading is all about. And so again, I can go much deeper into this level through here, guys. But if you are not doing well out of trading right now, right? If you're not doing well out of trading, then what I want you to do is I want you to think about how you're approaching these markets. Are you approaching these based off just a feeling or based off your emotions? Because if you are, that is definitely the wrong way to go. It's always based off a technical analysis and also understanding how the markets work. And it's based off rules based. When I started to remove all the bullshit, which are all the indicators and so forth, and start to apply some simple analysis. And again, guys, my trading is really simple, right? Most of the time, this is how I'm trading, just with one simple moving average. The reason why is because the chart is the main thing I should be watching for. The chart should be the main thing that I need to keep an eye on for, because it's the chart that's the main thing, right? It's like a lot of people are spending all these times becoming a master at the RSI, or the stochastics, or the MACD, but all of that is just a derivative from the actual market. And the better we can actually get rid of the charts, the better trader will be, and so on and so forth. So if we can start to apply some simple analysis like this, guys, of where we're going and what we're doing through here, you can really start to move forward in a big way with your trading. I think when we start to overcomplicate it, we don't know what to do, we become confused and we're not sure. Let's actually start to bring it back, keep it really simple. Understand that any given trade you get into is not going to make a profit. Like, we never know what trade, and that's always the hardest thing, right? It's like, I'm going into this, I want to make a profit, but I'm not sure, and it could be a loss. Just being okay with that. I guess that's always a hard thing, right? But using some logical, rule-based entries in the markets instead of feeling-based is always the way to go in the markets.